for me, I found out I was pregnant and during a time when I didn't think I could have babies. I was told that I couldn't get pregnant. I was told that I couldn't carry to term, which I took as not being able to get pregnant because I'd had 3 miscarriages before I had my daughter. And that call, when I got the call that I was pregnant, I told them right away that they were calling the wrong person, that there's no way that it could be me because I can't have babies. And they said, well, we don't do x-rays on pregnant women and there's a baby in there. And I was completely thrown. I had no idea what to do. I was at my sister's house at the time. And luckily, because she kind of kept my head on my shoulders, at least until I got to the OB. And that appointment was a few days after I found out. And I didn't understand how I couldn't have noticed that I had been pregnant. I'd been gaining weight and things like that, but I was also not drinking and using as much at that time. So I figured that that's what it was from. And then I went in and they did the ultrasound, and it was I saw the whole thing. Like, it was a 5.5-month-old baby in my belly, and I had no idea. I found out the sex, little girl. I remember having a complete meltdown in the OB's office, and I remember pacing, and my sister sitting next to me being like, you need to chill, and I'm like, you can't tell me to chill right now, and I didn't know what I was going to do. It was terrifying. I was not in any space to be taking care of myself, let alone bringing in a child. And again, the shock of being told that I couldn't carry to term and thinking that I couldn't have babies because of that, it was just a lot of shock. And I remember drinking for 3 days after I found out, a lot of whiskey. And I didn't know what to do. That was my way of coping. That was like the only thing that I knew how to do to be able to get anything into some sort of box so I could hold on to it. Which was strange looking back, because alcohol isn't something that really can give you any kind of strength to hold on to anything. But that's what I grasped onto anyway, because it's the only thing I knew how to cope with. And then it ended up happening. What they said, wouldn't carry to term. I found out I was pregnant when I was 5.5 months along, and I had her a month later. And I remember going into labor. And when my water broke, I thought I was having a miscarriage because it was November 11th, and my due date wasn't until, I think it was January 21st of the next year. So I really thought I was having a miscarriage. But then by the end of that day, I was a mom. There she was. She was really sick in the very beginning. She spent 7.5 weeks in the NICU, and that was a really difficult time. I was drinking a lot during that time, and I really regret it looking back. When she got out of the hospital, I was working with a few different places because they knew that I was using or had used in the past. And so I was getting help from Lund and DCF and a social worker from the hospital. And I wasn't drinking as much during the beginning when she first came home, but I started drinking a lot, and then I went 3 days where I blacked out for 3 days, and she at the time was taking about 7 different medications. She was on a feeding tube that had to be taken care of every day, multiple times a day, and I came out of it and I didn't know who was taking care of her, and that's when I really, that was my moment of realizing, she was 8 months at that time, and then I moved into Lund, and it was amazing. It was awful at the same time. I mean, it's not easy living in a building like that with so many women, but it gives you strength. You've got to be some kind of person to be able to get through that program. And I lived there for a year with Emery, and I've been sober since then. But the main thing for me with telling this story is I hope other mothers can understand it's okay to be scared. It's not there's not always joy and amazement when you find out that you're pregnant. It can be terrifying. I knew that the person as her father would not be a part of our lives. I knew I'd be doing it alone. There's nothing to be excited about with that kind of prospect. And I was, again, not in a place where I could take care of myself. I was drinking not every day, but I mean every other day. And I was unemployed. Like, it just wasn't a place for me to be bringing in a child. And I was homeless, like so many layers. And it's okay to have those types of feelings, to be afraid, to not be ready, to want to, completely freak out and black out for 3 days, because it's a lot to take in. You're still a human being. Just because you're a mom doesn't mean it would be amazing if once you had a baby, you get extra arms and extra strength and that kind of stuff. But that's not realistic. And there's no books out there that can tell you how to do it or what to do. And I've been so grateful for all of the help and the resources that I've been able to use and to be where I am now. And I really hope that other moms can understand that there is a way out. There are people that want to help you. And the world is changing in that way when it comes to mental health disorders and drug abuse and things, or substance use disorder. Because I see it every day, like going into doctor's offices, I feel less stigma around them. And, things are changing in that world, and it's not as scary to ask for help as it used to be. And that's something that I hope that people can get out of hearing and me being open. And I feel like I've lost a lot of people in my life, especially since I've been in recovery. And a lot of those are women that I lived with at Lund that passed away, that were moms. And a lot of them they died because they were feeling shameful. They didn't want to talk about that they had slipped or they had relapsed. And because of that, they're gone. And that's another reason why I want to use my voice and recover loudly, because if we recover loudly, others won't die quietly. And that's something that's very important to me. I lost a sister to addiction. I've lost a cousin. I have lost so many other sisters in arms. It's a lot. And I want, and there is another way. It's not easy. I won't try to pretend like this has been a great 9 years, because it's not. It's hard. But I put the work in, and I've learned a lot about myself, and I've given myself strength, and I think I'm a great mom. And my she's a wonderful little human now. You would never know that she had any of the issues that she had. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of. So that's it.
Heard the bird was by your door, lurking for your return from the freezing shore. When that bird goes flying to war, what it puts you through, you need so much more than an easy tune. Saying trouble